Hi guys, welcome to a video, and in today's video I just wanted to talk about Buffy and lesbianism. I like it already. So for whatever reason, I've kind of felt like a Buffy renaissance is in the air. I'm picking up vibes. What am I saying? But anyway, really the reason I'm making this video is me and my friend have been watching a lot of Buffy recently, and I've actually got quite into it. I do remember it from the late 90s. I did watch it, but I was never kind of obsessed with it outside having a crush on Buffy herself. But actually, Buffy is quite interesting in terms of lesbianism, and here's why. So the TV series ran from 1997 to 2003, so the show ended 1 year before the L Word started to air. Yes, the show was hugely popular because vampires plus hot blonde woman who kicks ass is a popular concept, but also the show is quite entertaining. And this is probably for another video, but the 90s in general were a huge time of kind of female empowerment. We really started to see an emergence in, it wasn't perfect, but we started to see a lot more diversity in women on screen in the 90s. And I think a lot of this was from the groundwork that feminists had laid down in the 70s and the 80s. Women in media were definitely beginning to shift into a more positive place and a more diverse place. So of course I'm making this video because Buffy had a reoccurring lesbian couple in Willow and Tara, and I believe they were the first American TV show to actually have a reoccurring lesbian couple on screens. So that's why Buffy's quite relevant. And I think it's easy now to kind of be like, well, so what? But at the time that was still quite fragile and quite a bold and controversial move to have a reoccurring lesbian couple in what was at the time quite I'm gonna say semi-popular TV series, because I think since it's aired, Buffy has become a cult show. And kind of like when Hocus Pocus was released, it didn't have a lot of commercial success, but it has a huge cult following. And I think the same can be said for Buffy. Whilst it was popular, I think it's more relevant because of its cult following as opposed to its initial popularity. Now, of course, even though the show was kind of groundbreaking in terms of presenting a reoccurring lesbian couple on screen, it did of course end with the classic, bury a gays trope. It did. Tara died, Willow went on a rampage, which was really fun to watch, but of course, not great that Tara died. I think there's two ways to kind of look at Tara's death in Buffy. And the first way to look at it is, even though there wasn't a lot of lesbian representation, the kind of lesbian tragedy has been going on since the early 20th century, so it's not really kind of an excuse that it's, oh, I didn't know about the trope. Like, anybody who had done research into lesbian media knows that it has a history entrenched in tragedy. And this representation was so kind of fragile. As I say, this was before the L Word came out, so it really was fragile. It would have been nice to have given Willow and Tara a somewhat happy ending. However, I do understand that really nobody in Buffy has a healthy relationship. It's not a show where all the straight people, had a great time and just the lesbians suffered. Like, everybody suffered in Buffy. So you kind of have to take that into account as well. And we can't really look at Willow and Tara in today's standards because everything was so fresh back then with female representation and with lesbian representation. And in general, there wasn't really the same understanding of it back then as we have now. I don't want to do too much of a feminist critique on Buffy because I would have so much to talk about. What I will say that goes in Buffy's favour from a feminist point of view is usually there are either more women on screen or there is an equal amount of women to the men on screen, and that's another way that the show was groundbreaking. You don't even really see a lot of that in today's media, and I do think the show portrayed a lesbian couple at a time where it was a bold move. Again, don't think the show was perfect in a lot of areas. However, I do think it was significantly progressive and entertaining, and look, it's just, in the nicest way possible, trash TV, and I really love it. And again, we can absolutely critique things and enjoy them at the same time. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on Buffy or Willow and Tara, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.